Welcome to the dream world. Have you ever had a dream so vivid that you woke up and thought, wait, was that real? Maybe you flew over your city. Maybe you met someone who's not alive anymore. Or maybe you were just running late for an exam that ended 10 years ago. Now imagine, what if dreams actually came true? Not just in your mind, but in reality. Would we wake up to chaos or paradise? Today, we'll explore what would happen if dreams were real. But before you start picturing a world full of flying pigs and pizza that never ends, let's take a step back and look at what dreams really are. Chapter 1. What actually happens when you dream. Every night when you fall asleep, something truly fascinating happens inside your head. Your body shuts down for rest, but your brain, it's just getting started. It's like your mind clocks out from your day job and immediately starts its night shift, creating entire worlds, rewriting reality, and making you the hero of your own weird movie. Dreaming usually happens during a stage of sleep called REM, short for rapid eye movement. During this time, your eyes move quickly under your eyelids, your heart rate increases a bit, and your brain activity looks surprisingly similar to when you're awake. Scientists like to describe this as your brain being awake while your body is asleep. That's why dreams can feel so vivid. Your mind is painting full HD, surround sound experiences, while your body lies completely still, like a parked car with the engine still running. So, what's actually happening? Imagine your brain as a very creative film director. It takes random bits of memory, emotion, imagination, and fear, tosses them into a blender, and hits play. 1 minute, you're flying through space on a slice of pizza. The next, you're arguing with your third-grade teacher about why your dog is president. Dreams can be completely nonsensical, yet somehow they feel meaningful. But there's real science behind the chaos. The limbic system, the emotional center of your brain, becomes super active during dreams. That's why your dream experiences can feel so intense. Joy, fear, sadness, even love. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and decision-making, mostly goes offline. So when a giant talking cat offers you financial advice in a dream, you just go with it. Your brain simply doesn't question things the way it does in waking life. Another key player is your hippocampus, which helps store memories. During sleep, it works overtime organizing the day's events, deciding what to keep and what to throw out. Dreams often borrow from this process. That's why you might suddenly dream about someone you barely spoke to 10 years ago. Your brain is tidying up old files and accidentally hits play on one of them. Scientists believe dreaming serves several purposes. It helps us process emotions, solve problems, and even practice survival skills. In fact, some researchers think our ancestors' dreams helped them prepare for danger, like a mental rehearsal for escaping predators. So in a weird way, that nightmare where you're running from a giant spider might just be your brain keeping your ancient survival instincts in shape. And then there's the question everyone wonders about. Why do dreams feel so real? Well, because your brain uses the same regions for dreaming as it does for real perception. When you dream of running, the same motor areas that would control your legs light up, except your body is temporarily paralyzed to stop you from actually sprinting into your nightstand. It's a built-in safety feature, like dream seatbelts. So, in short, dreaming is your brain's way of staying busy, sorting through your emotions, cleaning up your memories, and maybe even testing out new ideas, all while you're drooling on your pillow. And here's the funny part. Scientists still don't fully understand why. We dream the way we do. We've mapped the brain, studied sleep cycles, measured waves, and even scanned brains in real time. But the mystery remains. Your mind, it seems, enjoys keeping a few secrets. So the next time you wake up thinking, what on earth was that dream about? Just remember, your brain wasn't being weird, it was being creative. Because every night as you drift off to sleep, your mind turns into a storyteller, an artist, and a therapist all at once. It's chaotic, it's beautiful, and it's all happening while you're completely unconscious. Chapter 2. Why we dream and what Freud got wrong. Let's be honest, Sigmund Freud made dreams sound like every human secretly wants to marry their parents or fight their childhood fears with a cigar in hand. His ideas were creative, to say the least. According to Freud, almost every dream had some hidden, scandalous meaning buried deep in our subconscious. Dreaming about a house? That's your psyche trying to tell you something about your body. Dreaming about climbing stairs? Apparently, that was about sex. Basically, in Freud's world, even dreaming about pancakes could probably mean you're repressing feelings about your mother. Now, to give the man some credit, Freud was one of the first people to take dreams seriously, to treat them as a window into the mind. But science has evolved a bit since the early 1900s, and today, neuroscientists have a much less dramatic, much more biological explanation for why we dream. Spoiler alert, it has less to do with forbidden desires and more to do with brain housekeeping. Modern research suggests that dreams serve three main purposes: emotional regulation, memory consolidation, and mental simulation. Let's start with emotional regulation, your brain's version of therapy. During the day, you experience a roller coaster of emotions: excitement, stress, embarrassment, that awkward moment you waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you. When you finally go to sleep, your brain revisits those feelings and helps you sort through them. It's like emotional recycling. Dreams let you safely re-experience emotions and file them away properly. So that weird dream about missing your flight might just be your brain trying to process anxiety, not a secret desire to move to another country. Next up, memory consolidation. Your brain takes everything you've seen, heard, and felt during the day and tries to organize it, like a librarian after a hurricane. It decides what to keep, what to store in long-term memory, and what to delete forever, like that embarrassing text you sent. Dreaming may be part of this sorting process, as bits of random memories get replayed, mixed, and refiled. That's why your dreams can feel like bizarre movie mashups. Your brain is blending yesterday's meeting, a scene from a movie you watched last week, and something your friend said in 2013 into one surreal narrative. Finally, there's simulation, which is your brain's way of running practice drills. Think of dreams as a built-in virtual reality simulator. Your mind uses them to rehearse possible future scenarios in a safe environment. No consequences, no judgment, no need for pants. When you dream you're being chased by a giant duck, it's not about your secret poultry obsession. It's your brain practicing how to react to danger. The fear feels real, but it's just your nervous system keeping your survival skills sharp. In other words, dreams are less about what does it mean and more about what does it do. They're not mysterious prophecies or encrypted messages from your subconscious. They're practical, biological tools for emotional housekeeping, memory filing, and mental rehearsal. And that's where Freud got it wrong. He was right that dreams reveal something about our inner world, but not in the scandalous soap opera way he imagined. It's less, you secretly want to kiss your teacher, and more, your brain is trying to figure out why you were anxious during that meeting. Interestingly, modern psychology also points out that dreams can boost creativity. Because logic takes a nap while you dream, your brain is free to make weird connections that it never would when awake. That's how artists, scientists, and inventors sometimes wake up with new ideas, like Einstein imagining himself riding a beam of light, or Paul McCartney literally dreaming up the melody to Yesterday. So yes, dreams might still have meaning, but it's probably not the kind Freud would write a book about. More likely, it's your mind doing maintenance, learning, adapting, and occasionally throwing in a giant duck just to keep things interesting. In short, your brain uses dreams like a late-night VR simulator to test reactions, manage emotions, and organize chaos. And the best part? You don't even need a headset, just a pillow, 8 hours, and a willingness to let your subconscious run wild. Chapter 3. If Dreams Became Real, the Beautiful Chaos. Okay, let's take a deep breath and imagine it actually happens. You wake up one morning, open your eyes, and everything you dreamed last night is real. The flying elephants, the purple oceans, your old math teacher chasing you with a lightsaber, all of it. Congratulations, you just turned your subconscious into the ultimate chaos generator. At first, it might sound fun. Who wouldn't want their wildest dreams to come true? You could fly, breathe underwater, or finally have that conversation with your pet goldfish. But here's the problem. Dreams don't exactly come with a logic filter. They're unpredictable, bizarre, and often completely ridiculous. One night, you're a superhero saving the city. The next, you're running down the street in your underwear, trying to find a bathroom that never exists. Now, imagine that being your actual Tuesday morning. The world would instantly turn into a strange mix of heaven and horror. Some people would wake up surrounded by magical forests and kind creatures. Others, not so lucky. Someone's nightmare about zombie clowns could suddenly become your neighborhood's new reality show. The line between dream and real life would vanish, and society would have absolutely no idea what to do. Think about governments. How do you write laws for something like this? Article 47. Citizens must not dream of dragons in residential zones. The military wouldn't know whether to fight or nap. The police would need dream interpreters. And insurance companies? Completely destroyed overnight. How do you insure someone against accidental creation of a 40-foot marshmallow monster? The economy would crash before breakfast. Imagine waking up to find your boss dreamt that everyone gets a promotion. Or worse, that the entire office is now located on the moon. The stock market would be more unpredictable than ever. Breaking news: global oil prices drop after someone dreamed of infinite clean energy again. Even simple things like the weather forecast would become a joke. Today, we expect light rain in the north, and in the south, well, a teenager dreamed of lava waterfalls, so good luck. Relationships would also get interesting. People would start apologizing for their dreams the same way they do for drunk texts. Hey, sorry, I accidentally turned you into a talking tree last night. Couples therapy would have to include dream accountability sessions. So, why did you dream that your partner was eaten by a giant cat? And let's not forget all those dream journals. Suddenly, they'd become government records. Imagine police detectives investigating someone's subconscious. Sir, we have reason to believe you created 3 unicorns and a small apocalypse last Thursday. Care to explain? But here's the funny thing. Even in all this madness, people would probably find a way to adapt. Humans always do. There would be dream schools teaching lucid reality management. There'd be dream influencers bragging online. Just manifested a rainbow castle. Link in bio for my guide. Of course, we'd also see the darker side. People who can't control their nightmares would become walking disasters. Fear would literally shape the world. One bad night's sleep could wipe out a city. So the pressure to sleep well would be massive. Imagine bedtime becoming the most stressful part of your day. Honey, don't watch horror movies. We can't afford another vampire invasion. In this dream-turned-reality world, chaos and beauty would live side by side. For every nightmare, there'd be someone dreaming of light, love, and creativity. Artists would shape mountains. Musicians would dream symphonies into existence. Kids would play with real-life versions of their imaginary friends. It would be absurd, messy, unpredictable, and somehow kind of wonderful. But make no mistake, it would also be terrifying. Because our dreams reveal who we are deep down, our fears, our desires, our hidden thoughts. And if those suddenly came to life, we'd have to face ourselves in ways we never imagined. So yes, if dreams became real, the world would be beautiful chaos, equal parts magic and mayhem. A place where bedtime is the most powerful, dangerous, and exciting time of the day. Chapter 4. The Science of Lucid Dreaming. Now things are about to get seriously interesting. You see, there's a small group of people who have discovered a kind of superpower, the ability to control their dreams. They're called lucid dreamers. These are the folks who, while sound asleep, suddenly realize, wait a second, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. And instead of waking up in shock, they grab the wheel and decide to take their dream for a joyride. Imagine that. You're flying through the sky, dodging clouds, When you suddenly think, you know what would make this better? A dragon. And poof, you're riding one. Or maybe you're underwater talking to dolphins, or having coffee with Albert Einstein while discussing your latest theory about why socks always disappear in the dryer. In a lucid dream, the only limit is your imagination, and maybe your ability to stay asleep. Lucid dreaming isn't just a fantasy or internet rumor, it's real, documented science. Researchers at universities like Stanford and Harvard have studied it for decades. They've observed that during lucid dreams, specific areas of the brain light up, particularly the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for logic, self-awareness, and decision-making. In a normal dream, this part of your brain is mostly asleep, which is why you don't question why you're suddenly driving a banana instead of a car. But in a lucid dream, that region wakes up and says, "Hold on, this is weird. Oh, right, I'm dreaming." It's a strange blend of consciousness and unconsciousness, like being the director, actor, and audience of your own private movie all at once. And yes, scientists have confirmed this through actual lab tests. They've asked lucid dreamers to move their eyes in specific patterns during sleep, to signal when they became aware inside the dream. Using brain scans, they've measured the exact moment awareness kicked in. It's one of the few times we can see someone realize they're dreaming, in real time. So how does one learn to do it? Well, it's not exactly easy, but it's possible. People train themselves to recognize dream signs, little clues that they're not in the real world. For example, you might look at a clock twice in a row. In dreams, the time usually changes or looks strange. Or you might try to push your finger through your hand. If it goes through, congratulations, you're dreaming. Some people even keep dream journals or perform reality checks during the day, just to build the habit of questioning reality. Eventually, that habit slips into your dreams. Why bother? Because lucid dreaming isn't just fun. It can be incredibly useful. Psychologists have found that people can use it to confront phobias, heal emotional trauma, and even practice skills. Afraid of public speaking? Try it in a dream first. Want to play the piano better? You can rehearse in your sleep, and studies show it actually improves performance. The mind can simulate real movement so well that even athletes use lucid dreams as mental training grounds. But let's not forget the creative side. Many artists, writers, and inventors have claimed inspiration from their dreams. Lucid dreamers take it a step further. They can create on demand. Imagine being able to design entire worlds, meet imaginary mentors, or compose music with your subconscious orchestra. It's like having access to the ultimate version of imagination, one that feels completely real. Now, if we return to our earlier thought experiment, a world where dreams became real, lucid dreamers would pretty much become gods. While the rest of us are running from exploding toasters or mutant chickens, they'd be calmly shaping perfect utopias. They could fly, heal, build cities, and probably charge admission. There would be entire economies built around lucid architects of reality. Of course, even lucid dreamers aren't immune to surprises. Sometimes they lose control or the dream collapses the moment they get too excited. Imagine realizing you're dreaming, deciding to fly, and then immediately waking up because your brain goes, "Too much fun for one night." Still, lucid dreaming shows us something incredible: the brain's power to become aware even while asleep. It's proof that consciousness isn't a simple on-off switch. It's a spectrum, and we can learn to move along it. So the next time you fall asleep, remember, there's a whole other world waiting behind your eyelids. And if you're lucky and patient, you might just wake up inside your dream, steering it like a pilot of your own private universe. Just try not to dream up any exploding toasters. Chapter 5. Dreams and the Brain, What We Know. If dreams were movies, your brain would be the director, producer, and special effects team, all working at once, on zero budget and apparently no script. But behind all the madness, there's actually some solid neuroscience that explains why dreams look and feel the way they do. Inside your head, a few key brain regions come together every night to create your personal cinematic universe. First up, we've got the amygdala, the emotional center of your brain. This little almond-shaped structure is responsible for all those intense dream feelings: fear, love, excitement, anxiety, or the deep panic you feel when you show up to work wearing pajamas. When the amygdala gets going, your dreams can feel more dramatic than a soap opera. Next, there's the hippocampus, your brain's memory librarian. It keeps track of your experiences, both old and new, and it loves to remix them while you sleep. That's why you might dream about your childhood home, but with your current coworkers inside. Your brain is simply recycling old footage to create a new story. The hippocampus is like that friend who keeps bringing up random memories at the worst possible time. Then we have the visual cortex, the part of your brain that turns everything you see into pictures. Even though your eyes are closed, this area lights up during dreams, as if you're watching an IMAX movie inside your head. It's the reason your dreams can look so real, with color, depth, and movement, even if the plot makes absolutely no sense. And finally, the prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational part of your brain. It's the one that normally says, "Wait, that can't be right." Unfortunately, during dreams, this guy takes the night off. It's basically out to lunch, which is why you never question why your boss suddenly turns into a walrus, or why you're trying to take an exam in a swimming pool. Without your prefrontal cortex keeping things in check, your imagination runs wild. Neuroscientists have studied all this using MRI machines, and the results are fascinating. When people dream, their brain activity looks strikingly similar to when they're awake. The same regions that light up during real experiences also activate during dreams. That's why waking up from a nightmare can leave you sweaty, with your heart racing. Your brain thought it was real. It's not pretending. It's genuinely living the experience. In fact, some people have been found crying, laughing, or even physically reacting to what's happening in their dreams. That's because your brain doesn't always know the difference between imagination and reality. To your nervous system, a dream argument feels just as stressful as a real one, which explains why some couples wake up mad at each other over something that only happened in dreamland. Now, imagine if dreams were real. All those emotional and physical reactions would spill out into the world. Every night, billions of people would accidentally rewrite reality based on whatever nonsense their subconscious cooked up. The laws of physics? Gone. Consistency? Never heard of it. Picture this. Someone in Tokyo dreams that the moon is made of cheese, and poof, it actually is. Meanwhile, someone in Brazil dreams that gravity doesn't exist anymore. Half the planet is floating away, while the other half is trying to figure out why their breakfast cereal is orbiting the ceiling. It would be complete chaos. And it's all because the dreaming brain doesn't follow logic, only emotion and imagination. The amygdala would be running the world. The hippocampus would be rearranging memories like puzzle pieces, and the visual cortex would be constantly repainting reality. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the one part that could bring order, would still be on vacation. So yes, dreams may feel real because the same parts of your brain that handle real life are active, but that's also what makes them so unpredictable, so emotional, and sometimes so beautifully strange. If our dreams ever crossed over into the real world, we wouldn't just break the laws of physics, we'd delete them. Reality itself would turn into a constantly shifting canvas, painted by billions of half-awake artists who have no idea what they're doing. And that, in a way, shows just how powerful the human brain really is. It doesn't need the outside world to create wonder, terror, or awe. It can do all of that on its own, every single night while you sleep. Chapter 6. The Fun and the Nightmare. Let's be honest, not all dreams are created equal. Some are pure joy, like flying over mountains, meeting your childhood hero, or suddenly discovering you can play the guitar better than Jimi Hendrix. Others? Not so much. Like those classic horror episodes where you're falling endlessly into darkness, running late to an exam you didn't study for, or realizing you've shown up to work completely naked. And of course, the truly bizarre ones. Being chased by a flock of ducks with laser eyes, or arguing with a talking refrigerator about your life choices. Now, imagine all of that actually happening. If dreams suddenly became real, sleep would instantly become the most dangerous activity known to humankind. You wouldn't be saying good night anymore. You'd be saying good luck. People would start going to bed like astronauts heading into deep space, with helmets, safety contracts, and goodbye hugs. Let's start with the fun side. There would be dream junkies, people who can't wait to go to sleep just to experience their next adventure. One night, they're surfing on lava. The next, they're hanging out with dinosaurs or riding unicorns through New York traffic. Travel agencies would go bankrupt because who needs a vacation when you can nap your way to the pyramids? You could visit Mars before breakfast, attend your own concert in the evening, and still make it home before your alarm goes off. But here's the twist. For every person who dreams of winning the lottery, there's someone who dreams of, say, a zombie apocalypse. And in this new world, both become real. So while one city celebrates unlimited wealth, another is being overrun by undead accountants. Chaos would spread faster than you can say REM cycle. Governments wouldn't know what to do. They'd have to regulate sleep like it's a controlled substance. Dream curfews would be introduced, mandatory waking hours to keep reality stable. People might have to log their dream reports before going to bed, just in case someone accidentally dreams a volcano into existence. And then there would be dream guards, professional protectors hired to stand by while you sleep, ready to jump in if your nightmares start spilling into real life. Imagine your security system not just protecting your house, but also your subconscious. Dream insurance companies would pop up overnight. Though good luck filing a claim for damage caused by mutant penguins, entertainment would change forever too. Netflix and Hollywood would be finished. Why watch other people's stories when you can literally live your own every night? People would start live streaming their dreams for views, turning sleep into the ultimate reality show. Tonight on DreamTube, Steve tries to survive another night of being chased by flying staplers. Of course, there'd be the dark side, the nightmares, the terrifying dreams that make you wake up in a cold sweat. Those would become everyone's worst reality. The world would never truly rest because at any given time, someone somewhere would be dreaming something monstrous. Ghosts, monsters, giant insects, or even your ex showing up to give a motivational speech. All suddenly real. And speaking of exes, yes, their dreams might end up right in your neighborhood. You could wake up one morning to find a dozen giant hearts floating in the sky because your ex dreamed about winning you back. Or worse, they dreamed you were still together. Awkward. Soon, society would split into two types of people. The day dwellers, who avoid sleep out of fear, and the dream adventurers, who can't wait to fall asleep and see what chaos they can create next. Scientists would become overnight celebrities, trying to figure out how to stop the madness. Sleep would no longer be a private escape. It would be a global event. So yes, dreams can be magical, but if they ever crossed into reality, the line between fun and nightmare would disappear completely. Every nap could be an adventure, or the end of the world. In the end, you might think twice before saying, "Sweet dreams." Because if dreams became real, the sweetest ones would be humanity's last comfort, and the scariest ones might just wake up before you do. Chapter 7. What dreams tell us about ourselves. Maybe the whole "what if dreams were real" question isn't about bending the laws of physics at all. Maybe it's about something deeper, understanding ourselves. Because let's face it, even if dreams never spill into the real world, they already have a huge influence on the world inside us. Dreams are like secret messages from the backstage of your mind. They don't always make sense, and sometimes they're just plain weird. Like when you dream that your old math teacher is your dentist, or that you're late for a flight to Mars. But underneath all the strangeness, there's meaning. Dreams are your brain's way of talking to you when your mouth is off duty. Think of it like this. During the day, your conscious mind is in charge, logical, practical, busy paying bills, answering emails, and pretending to listen during meetings. But when you sleep, the conscious mind clocks out and the subconscious steps in. It's like the night shift worker who decides to rearrange all the furniture while you're gone. Suddenly, emotions, memories, and hidden thoughts come out to play, creating stories that reflect what's really going on beneath the surface. That's why so many dreams are filled with emotion. The nightmare where you're falling endlessly might not be about gravity. It could be your brain saying, "Hey, you feel out of control right now." The dream where you're lost in a maze? Maybe it's your subconscious screaming about that decision you've been avoiding. Even the dream where you show up to work without pants might just be your mind expressing insecurity or fear of embarrassment. Or, maybe you just really hate your job. Scientists and psychologists have spent decades studying what dreams mean. And while there's no universal dream dictionary, internet, there's one thing most experts agree on. Dreams reflect you, your hopes, your fears, your experiences, all reshuffled into wild stories that make you stop and think. Sigmund Freud famously believed dreams were the royal road to the unconscious, basically a peek into your deepest desires. Carl Jung saw them as symbolic messages from the psyche, meant to guide you towards self-understanding. Even modern neuroscience agrees that dreams play a crucial role in processing emotions and consolidating memories. In other words, dreams are how your brain takes out the trash, organizes the files, and sometimes accidentally sets off the fireworks. And here's the fascinating part. Even though dreams aren't physically real, they still change you. You might wake up from a dream feeling inspired, sad, confused, or strangely motivated to call your mom. That emotional residue can shape your day, your decisions, and even your beliefs. A single dream can push you to face a fear, chase a goal, or finally admit something you've been avoiding. So in a way, dreams are real. Not in the giant flaming ducks are taking over the city kind of way, but in the way they influence who you become. They're part of your story, your evolution. They show you what matters, what hurts, and what you secretly crave. Maybe that's why we remember certain dreams years later, because they touch something important inside us. A dream might not change the outside world, but it can absolutely change the one within. It can make you see life differently, remind you of something you lost, or even give you the courage to make a change when you wake up. So yes, if dreams ever became real, the world would be a chaotic mess of flying cows and lava oceans. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe dreams are already real enough, because every night they let you explore a version of yourself that you might never see in daylight. And when morning comes, you carry a piece of that world with you, a feeling, a thought, a tiny spark of meaning. Maybe that's all the reality dreams need. Conclusion: the real power of dreams. So, what if dreams were real? Well, maybe they already are. Not in the way you can touch or see them, but in the way they influence who you become. Every invention, every piece of art, every great idea started as someone's dream. The difference is, some people wake up and make them happen. So tonight, when you close your eyes, don't worry about flying cows or awkward high school flashbacks. Just remember, your dreams might not reshape the universe, but they can reshape you.